What's up, everybody? This is Darren Peterson. In a minute, we're about to bring you the first episode in the first season of Results Not Excuses at Zoe and Love. This is a big deal. I want to give you a shout out to everybody that's tuning in and want to be with us during this time. I guarantee that you're going to like it. If you guys don't like it for whatever reasons, if you need me to change it up, send me a DM. But it's about to start right now. So, results, not excuses at Zoe and Love. Where did this come from? Where did this start? Why did I start seeing this randomly around town? And you guys probably have seen it around town, like in Huntington Beach. You've seen black t-shirts, you've seen white t-shirts, you've seen different sweatsuits and hoodies and all different types of things. This is a very big movement that we think that a lot of people can take from. It can be in the corporate world. It can be in the sports teams, whatever it is. This is a mentality, okay, that can be start. It can start with our babies and then all the way up to adults that can really benefit you big time. Where did this come about and why? A lot of times when I was around town and stuff like that, people ask, they go, "D, like, where did this come from? How did this come about? Explain this to me." And it's just like this, during COVID, it was an extremely tough time for my family. It was extremely tough time for just us being like an American, but it was extremely tough time when COVID first hit. We immediately got shut down. We didn't know what COVID was. We didn't know if it was real. We had to. A lot of things got shut down. People lost their businesses. People were getting sick. People were dying because of it. We didn't know if it was actually because of that or if it was something else. It was a crazy, crazy time. And then on top of that, there was some political issues that was going on. And it was crazy. It was a tough, tough time. One of the things our family had a hard time was that was just not being around loved ones. If you got sick, you had to really hunker down and let COVID take its course, and you couldn't really be around certain people. Waking up every day and just seeing what the numbers and what's going on, it was a very tough time. I didn't know what to believe. We didn't know how to believe. Certain different who were tagging with some of these numbers, we weren't sure if it was right or wrong. It was a crazy time. Then on top of that, kids couldn't go to school. They were online on Zoom. They didn't have a recess. They weren't having lunch. They had no social interaction at all. It was a crazy tough time. And COVID was the survival of the fittest. It really put on display the resources that you have. It really showed you had to think outside the box for work, for school, for parenting, for sports, anything and everything. It was an extremely hard time. One of the things that it was extremely hard time for me was I have an 8-year-old son. His name is Alonzo Peterson. We call him Zoe. That's where the Zone Love comes in at. We trademarked the results, not excuses, and then we trademarked the Zone Love, and we kind of staggered it together, and it came out pretty cool. I hope you guys like it. But anyway, it came from just that. My son was hospitalized at 2 months. He had a scary thing that was going on. He was in ICU for more than a week down at Chalk in Mission Viejo, and shout out to them. They took very good care of him, and just the other patients who were in there. He got hospitalized 2 months. Scary time. He was on 100% oxygen at one point. Basically, he wasn't breathing on his own. That machine was breathing for him. My wife, she got sick at the time, so she couldn't really be there. She was in another part of the hospital. It was a tough time, and as a father, as a new father, you really had to do what you can do, control what you can control, and just be there for your son. Now, he's 2 months old. Can't tell you what's going on. It's basically the scariest part of being a parent. It's all about with the trial and error. You got to figure it out, right? At the same time, your baby can't talk. So it was extremely hard time. So he eventually got out of there. We saw that he was starting to breathe better, and he was out of there. And then everything's fine. He's playing 3 to 4 sports right now. He loves it. Um, he We have totally adopted just that mindset for him, and then the whole nine. So now it's just like a well-oiled machine for him. So when COVID hit, man, it was a tough time. I immediately, as a father, went to that time where he was 2 months. He was 5 when COVID first hit, and I was like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. Like if he does get COVID, which he probably will, I'm gonna make sure that his lungs and his heart is at the strongest that it's ever gonna be, so he can get through it. Because all I kept thinking about was him being hospitalized and him being in the ICU, just hopeless, couldn't speak or anything, and we weren't gonna do that. So during COVID, we immediately did like a workout schedule for Zoe. We had him for 18 months. We literally had him work out for an hour and a half. It was me. It was Papa. Shouts out just to Papa Bill McGinnis. Love him to death. It was me, Papa. We had Bim come over. We literally, in between my Zooms with work, we would literally work Zoe out for an hour and a half in the front of the house, and it'll just be basketball. The reason why we chose basketball was because, you know, you, that's going to get you in shape. It's basketball, for sure. Did it for 18 months. He loved it. Did a lot of skill stuff with him. Um, we went Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday was basketball stuff, and Wednesday was a beach day. I live about a block or two up from the beach. We literally went down there every Wednesday, and he did just some sand stuff. So when we got out of that, we were in COVID, and when he started just with sports, he was itching just to play. Next thing I know is that his basketball and his footwork and his soccer and everything, because basketball translates to all those sports. He just took off just with sports. Academically, his mom was working with him every day. We were working with him, and he had the Zoom lessons on his school. But it's just like anything else. You got to put that overtime work in, reading with them, talking with them, engaging with them, because they weren't getting that in school at all, period. Teachers did as much as they possibly could, but during COVID, if your child didn't have the discipline to get up on time, make their bed, brush their teeth, hop on just to Zoom, and get the work done, it was going to be tough. And we're talking about just one kid in the house. I can only imagine if you have 2, 3, or 4 kids, that would be tough. So he took that and just ran with it. Another thing during COVID is that we had all these different issues that was dividing us with some issues in the world, and it all just boils down to, it doesn't really matter if you're black, if you're white, if you're Hispanic, or this, that, and the third. It all boils down to uh, effort, understanding what you can and can't do, understanding what's going to take for you to get up and beat the next man, uh, to get the job, perform, um, and just create your own legacy for your family, uh, and for you to just get the job done. No matter what happens, we are all going through something, but we have to check those emotions and just get the job done. Be a good person, keep it moving, and just do the best that you can do. That's all. So that's how results, not excuses, has started. Everybody was giving crazy excuses on why they couldn't do what they should be doing. People wanted help just for stuff. People wanted this. People wanted this. They were complaining about certain things that was going on, and the excuses was just off the chain. It was crazy. It was really, really bugging me, because I had a hard time with staying in the house, and to weaken my immune system, my wife's, and then my son's immune system, just to save somebody else. And a lot of times it was hard. Like people were walking around that they don't really take care of themselves. So I have to weaken my immune system just to save somebody else. Didn't understand that at all, period. Another thing too is that, with my son, we had to make sure that, his immune system was strong because he got hospitalized. That was very, very tough. So we took that out of it. So instead of making excuses on why we couldn't do what we should be doing during COVID, uh, we took it as a sign. It's like, man, whoever comes out of this with the work ethic, with the drive, and with the mentality, with the no results, not excuses mentality, and that's mixed in with this day and age of like excuses, entitlement, and with the mindset of what the country can do for me versus what I can do for my country. Man, it that's a sense of entitlement that we're just not going to get anywhere. It's a mentality that could go trickle down from a generation just to generation, and it proves why you are where you are. There's a reason why people are in the spot where they're at, and that typically just comes from results, not excuses, just a mindset. So we wanted to make sure that when we had Zoe, he understands what that mindset is from the bottom all the way up to the top, and he can apply this in the classroom, with the sports world, corporate world, whatever that he wants to do. He understands just that mindset, and he will have that edge over a lot of these kids, a lot of these adults, because they just don't have that mindset. So that's the reason why it was started, just so we can kind of just get back on track and help people understand that this is a mindset that it's all about. At the end of the day, what you put in is what you're gonna get out. It's not anybody else's fault. Don't blame anybody. That's your fault. So and it can be from the babies to adults. And when you're introspective and when you look at yourself in the mirror and be like, how can I get better? Versus blaming somebody else. For example, people might blame coworkers. Well, I couldn't do this because of this person. Couldn't do this because of that person. That's an excuse. Sports world. Oh, the coach doesn't like me. My other teammates just that and the third. No. Look in the mirror. Ask yourself, how can I get better? I might have to stay after and get up extra shots. I might have to get in the batting cages and take more hacks in. I might have to get in better shape. I might have to do this and do that. If you're not the favorite, be the favorite, but that's on you. And it all just comes down to results and not excuses. Just want to give you just like a little bit of background of myself, and just who I am. I grew up in Fullerton. I have a brother. Don't really have a relationship with him. I grew up in both parents in the home. My parents were very successful, but I was a daddy's boy all the way. I didn't really look like him that much, but I was a daddy's boy. I wanted to follow, I wanted to copy, I wanted to do everything that my dad was doing, which was cool. That was the best thing ever. I dealt with my own issues growing up. One of the main ones is I was a stutterer. This is huge, just doing just podcast, because I was a big time stutterer. Um, and it used to really mess with me a lot, because like a lot of times when you stutter, people think because you stutter you're not that bright or whatever it is, but that wasn't the case. I stuttered big time. Um, uh, my dad played basketball. He played at Pepperdine. He also coached for a little bit at Pepperdine. So I wanted to just play basketball, but I started playing soccer at a very young age because my dad told me that you're gonna play soccer because I need your footwork just to be on point. So I started playing soccer. I fell in love with it, but then start hearing that there's no real 6'8" soccer players because my dad, he's 6'8". So I had to pivot and go to basketball, and at that point I just took off just with basketball. Basketball was I got good at it. It really helped me along with my stuttering too. I didn't really talk that much as a kid because I did stutter. I remember sometimes, man, we sit in the classroom and then like I don't know if you guys remember, but the popcorn reading that the teachers would do and how you just go on and you're not retaining no information that the teacher's saying. All you do is like, oh man, it's 6 paragraphs coming. I'm the fifth kid. Oh my gosh, I gotta read this. Um, it was a tough time, but just like anything else, I just had to get through it, and through my parents' support, especially with my dad's, I got through it. And I understand it's tough being a stutterer. Like you understand, people fear public speaking more than death, probably, and I had that. So uh, I I stuttered big time. So you might hear it every now and then. I have to stop and regroup. But the thing that helped me with that was just basketball and then my circle. Uh, Fast forward that I played high school basketball. I went to Long Beach, Jordan. I was pretty good there. I went to Cal Poly after. I had a short career there. While I was there, I had majored in business marketing with a minor in finance. I wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do, but if you major in business, you have like a lot of options at that point, which is cool. After that, I got my master's degree, and during that time, when I was at Cal Poly, my father had passed away. It was a very tough time because your support system and then your rock is gone. Didn't have a relationship with my mom. Um, I don't have one now, but when my father passed away, he had very two close friends, his best friends. They've always been in my life and helped me through a lot of different things. Supported me, the good and bad. They've always been there, and I always knew in the back of my mind if anything happens to my dad, I knew I wasn't going to be around my mom. I wanted my family to be around them all the time, and that's what I did. Um, After he passed away, it was tough. I met my wife. I always knew that I always wanted to have a son. I always knew that his name was going to be Zoe. Some people didn't like the name, but I didn't really care. I was so stuck on Zoe and and made it happen. Um, Met my wife. There were some things that had to happen that most people don't talk about while we were dating. Finances, talk about sports. Did you do these things? Did you play sports? How good were you? A lot of people lie about that, right? And then on top of that was just the finances, understanding what I'm bringing to the table, understanding what she's bringing to the table. And this is a discussion, and I believe that when you're dating somebody, you have to have those discussions. You don't want to get very deep off into something, get into a relationship with somebody, and then you find out that they're in a mountain worth of debt. I wasn't gonna do that, and we're not doing that. That's not fair. So we ended up getting together, been together for a long time. Uh, um, as we were dating and we graduated and we got older and we used to talk about certain things. Zoe was the thing that came up a lot. I only wanted one child. I knew how crucial and demanding my schedule was being as a kid, and I didn't really have um, I didn't understand how that was going to happen with two plus kids. I don't have a lot of time and the ability to deal with another kid because it's a lot. Uh, so then my pops passed away. Don't have a relationship with my mom. My wife, she didn't have a relationship with her mom either, really. And then with her dad, the question is, who are going to be Zoe's grandparents? It's like, oh, perfect, Bill and Julie. I'm gonna tell you who Bill and Julie are. They were my dad's best friends. When I was growing up, I loved them like no other. I knew that they were some special people, and it was very easy to understand why my dad had loved them and put stock in them because they're just awesome and just great people. Um, I wanted my son, Zoe, to be around him all the time. They were going to be his grandparents, and thank God they accepted. They're the reason why we are in Huntington Beach, to be close by them. I always want him to have his grandparents somewhere close by, and we just made it happen. So they are his grandparents. That's all he knows is Papa, and then it's with Yaya, um, and just seeing them love on him the way that they do. Um, that was the best decision that we ever made. Um, just because they're your blood parents doesn't mean that um, they will be rewarded automatically being grandparents. That does not mean that. They're awesome people, and that's the best thing that we've ever done. But it takes a certain person to really think outside the box and don't just do what everybody does. Um, just because they're your parents doesn't mean that even if they were done right by you or not done right by you, it's a blessing to be called like a grandparent. So when Bill and Julie are with Zoe, he lights up, he's happy. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So they're the reason why we're here. And then, like, they have a son named Billy McGinnis. He is one of Zoe's. He is one of Zoe's godfathers. He's extremely successful. Uh, Went to high school in Huntington Beach, played baseball. He used to study there. He went to Sonoma State. After that, he went to SC and got his master's there. And he just pursued he had a career change, and he's in the tech field now. So shouts out just to Billy. And we just live in Huntington Beach, man, and everybody is doing great. Like, we really had a chance just to carve out the type of life that we wanted. And there's certain people that we wanted around Zoe, and then there are certain people we did not want around Zoe. And even if you're a blood, because at the end of the day, how he turns out is a strictly reflection on just me and his mom, me and my wife. So just because you're blood and everything like that doesn't mean that, like, you're instantly going to be awarded just to be around my son. And I hold this parenting and guardian thing very high, because these kids, they look to us, just to guard them, protect them, love on them, and provide certain resources so they can be successful in life. So that's where we are right now. And then on top of that, we were trying to think of certain things just to do with them. So, right now there's a reason why we are here. We worked hard just to get to this point. Um, and now we have Zoe, and we combine just with the mindset, and sky's the limit. So um, that's a little bit of my background. So the Results Not Excuses podcast, what are you going to get out of this for all these different seasons and all these episodes? It's going to be things that's going to make people think out of the box. That's for one. Also, there's going to be some controversial issues that we are going to talk about, address in your life, the corporate world, and just with the sports world. It's going to vary from things, from topic just to topic, just depending on what we're talking about just that day. Hopefully, people will take something from it and make them think. I hope that this helps people understand how this can help you. It can change the trajectory of your life due to a mindset that just makes you like that shark-like mentality that just makes you just get stuff done. Everybody is going through something. I know it might be tough, but you got to push through, constantly push through. And that's the beauty of sports. That's the beauty of sports big time, is that it forces you to understand teamwork, accountability, and discipline, and understanding what it's like just to just be a part of a team. That's how it is with the corporate world too. You have to work with somebody just to get the job done, and that's just what it is. So yeah, this podcast is. I hope that you guys love the different podcasts, the different seasons that we have. It's going to be different. Sometimes I might bring people on just to talk, and it could be anywhere between like just an athlete, like a pro athlete, to a very successful person in just the business world, and just understanding how people, why and how they got to where they got to, um, which is big. So yeah, so I hope that you guys like it, and just understanding that it's all about results and not excuses at Zone Love. So what are you gonna get out of this podcast? What are you gonna get? Why should you log in and tune on to me? What's the point? There's a lot of podcasts out there. So why would you? Why am I so special? Why do you want to come listen to me? Well, for one, there's gonna be some controversial issues that we are going to talk about. There's going to be some things where you might not agree, but we can respectfully agree to disagree. It's going to make you think outside the box, make you understand. Just because everybody is doing something doesn't mean that you should be going just that way. Understanding um, that this could change the trajectory of your life, your family, um, and things like that. There's going with the different seasons. It might just be me talking, or I might just bring people in. It could be like an athlete that, like a current athlete right now, a professional athlete right now, to a very successful business person too. That's going to talk to you about why they got to where they got to. Also, too, it might be some current coaches who are around in the city, what they're looking for, what they're not looking for, and understanding too with these coaches too, like understanding like just like a little bit of insight. Parents, you have to understand. Yes, these coaches, high school and college, they are recruiting the kids, but they're also recruiting parents. So if parents come off as too much or being too much, not trusting just the coaches and what they're doing, they don't want that. They can just go get somebody else. Okay, so there's a lot of different things that you're gonna get from this podcast that we try to cover, where it's going to help you. During this time when I started with my Instagram page, I'm on Instagram too. You guys can always follow me on there. It's Results Not Excuses 44 at and it's on just Instagram. My son's is at the Zoe and Love. We go back and forth. He's on there too. So if you guys can follow us, that would be great. Um, During this time when we first started, we started with the T-shirts and kind of seeing get people's feedback. I want to say like it was around like last Halloween, and there were a few questions that kept coming up in my DMs that I just want to address them right now. I'm just gonna go over about 5 of them really, really quick. Just with you guys, and just about 5 questions that we're gonna answer right now. Just moving forward, the first question I just kept getting a lot. Um, at what age can you apply this mindset? I believe that the earlier, the better, but you have to be consistent. A lot of times, just with kids, if you're not consistent with doing something, if you show like any cracks, and if you don't show consistency, it's probably just not going to work. Through research and things like that, it normally takes a total of like 21 days to show any type of change in behavior. But once you start it, you have to carry it through. It cannot be uh, not consistent, and understand that this is a lifestyle. It's not something you just pick up and just apply just to one thing. This is everything across the board. So this is the earlier, the better. It can start with our babies all the way up to the adults, and yeah, that's that. Second question that I had a lot was what made me want to start this and why. Um, Honestly, the reason why I started this was because of COVID. Like we before COVID, people had excuses about why they couldn't do stuff, but when COVID hit, it just got way worse. Like it was so bad. Some of the things that it was coming across, and then when you mix with the lack of work ethic and a sense of entitlement, that's scary. And I just we got fed up big time. It was just bad, and I didn't want my son to ever have that mentality or be influenced by that, because we and my wife, we really, really bank on the fact of being Zoe's biggest influencer, and then surrounding him with people like moms and pops and Billy and then Jeff and then like things like that that just go all the way around. Just a good, solid core group that he can go to outside of me and his mom, if anything is needed. The next question. Somebody asked like somebody asked this funny question. I start laughing. They said, have I ever experienced any issues like in Huntington Beach? Because there's not too many African American males who are walking around just like in Huntington Beach. I said, no, I haven't really experienced anything. I think that you're talking about like racism or anything like that. That stuff don't really bother me with the racism part. It doesn't really bother me at all. I always saw that's that person's issue. How that person feels, that's not going to uh, it doesn't have any type of influence on my life. Period. I'm still going to be successful. I love being in Huntington Beach. Shouts out just to mom and pops, those grandparents. They're the reason why we are in Huntington Beach. It's a beautiful city. I love being here, and it's all about just education and just how you conduct yourself. And that's I believe that's parenting, and then it's also too with education. That stuff does not bother me at all. I really don't care. As long as you don't put your hands on me, we're good. I just go back to like, that's their personal issue. It's kind of sad that they feel like that, judging somebody off of that, but I really don't care. I'm always going to work hard. My son's going to work hard, and my wife's going to work hard. And we might have to work harder than just the next person, but who cares? That stuff does not bother me at all. I love this city. I'm just glad that we are here in this city that my son can call this his home. So yeah, not at all. It does not bother me. It will never bother me. So yeah, that's not my problem. Other question is when will you? Okay, so right now you can honestly go on. You can DM me if you guys want any type of t-shirts, sweatsuits, hoodies, and whatever that you guys want. We partnered up with a company called Smooth Flow Enterprises. She is like, they're awesome. If you guys want a piece at all, if you guys have a different idea, if you guys want a different color, different style, the beauty about this is that this logo will never change. Okay, it will never change. But if you guys want a different color, different style, different design, she can do all that, and she is very very good at what she does. There will be a Shopify link very soon on my Instagram where you can go on there and get place your order and things like that. Just go straight to it and just order it. In the meantime, just DM me or DM at Smooth Enterprises, or just send a text to her. You can find that on my Instagram. You can just place your orders. I believe right now the t-shirts are for 30 and the kids are for 25. If you have a different color that you want to have, you can definitely request that too as well. Last one. Oh yeah, this was different. Somebody asked me. They kept asking me in the city, um, what else do I do besides just with apparel. The goal of this is to talk to sports teams, and the goal of it is to talk to certain companies, corporate America, for any type of like professional growth, or you have any new hires that need people that need us to come in just to talk to them and make sure that they have a certain mindset moving forward with sales and with the company. It's all about money and with the numbers and things like that when you sign up for a certain company. And with sports teams, it's very very simple. I come in and I'm basically like, look, man, like coaches don't want to deal with this. They don't want to deal with that. You need to have a certain mentality. Why are you going to play over the next person? Why are you going to get that scholarship versus another kid that's across the country? And now we're talking about just the world, right? Why are you going to get that scholarship over just the next person? These college coaches and these high school, they are getting, from who they bring in, they are getting paid based off who they bring in. So if you don't perform at a certain level, hey, you got to go. Like you got to be next man up. It's not so much about pay to play and you know my I paid this and he should be playing. No, no, no. You have to earn everything if you want to stay on the court or the field, and you have to outwork everyone. That's just that's just a part of it. And I go to some of these games right now just for my son. He's 8, and the sense of entitlement was some of these parents crazy. And a lot of you got to be careful too with what team you're on and what you're doing, because if the team is not doing certain things where it's going to benefit your child, those wins and losses can be a false sense of where they really are at. So you just have to be me coming in and talking to the parents or with the sports team to make sure that everybody uh, is focused. I would love just to come do that, and with the companies or that. So we're just gonna keep going. If you find out something that I say on the podcast that it resonates with you big time, just send me like a DM and we can chit chat. But I am really looking forward just to bringing you guys great content, controversial stuff that's gonna help you and think outside the box. Because at the end of the day, it's all about results, not excuses. And we are just happy just to do this. This is a huge deal. Thank you so much for being here for the first episode. This is awesome, man. This is a big deal. Thank you so much, and we will be seeing you very soon. Also, one last thing before I go, we will be dropping this every other week. So we're going for two times a month, and we're going to try to give you 10 sessions 10 episodes per season. So thank you so much. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there who are rocking. Your babies are watching, man. Just love on them. And we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. And results, not excuses.